Good morning, children. We have already discussed lesson weathering the storm in Ersama. In previous two periods. I think you remember the super cyclone which was faced by the people of Odisha in 1999, which this super cyclone killed thousands of people and devastated many villages. Here you have seen the work of Prasant, who had gone to his friend's house, and for 2 days he lived on the roof of his friend's house. That time a coconut tree fell on their roof and they saved their lives by eating coconut fruits. On third day, he decided to go to his village and he helped the villagers of his village in different ways. Now the time has come to discuss the exercises of the lesson. Here you can see your first exercise. What havoc has the super cyclone wreaked in the life of the people of Odisha? You know, super cyclone washed the houses away. First, second, uprooted trees. Third, killed thousands of people. And fourth, devastated hundreds of villages. So I think you are clear about the answer of this question. Once I would like to tell you once again the answer of this question. The super cyclone uprooted the trees, killed thousands of people, washed away the houses, and devastated many villages in Odisha. Now, see question number 2 carefully. How has Prasant, a teenager, been able to help the people of his village? This is very important question. You have to mention the leadership quality of Prasant, who helped the people of his village. You can say he organized a group of youth and elders to make the merchant give them rice, because there was a scarcity of food at that time. So he organized a group of youth and elders of his village to make the merchants give them rice. He made a team of youth volunteers to clean the dirt urine, vomit, and dead bodies. This is very important. This was not an easy work for Prashant. So he organized a team of youth volunteers in order to clean the dirt, urine, vomit, and dead bodies of animals and people. Prashant made a shelter for orphan children. Who are orphan children? The children who had lost their parents. There was no one to see them. They are called orphans. So Prashant made a shelter, a place to live for orphan children. He found that women and children were in their grief. You know, many of the women have lost their husbands in the super cyclone. So children and women were there in grief. Prashant persuaded them to join the Food for Work program. In this way, he brought a ray of hope in their lives. Now, third question is there for you. How have the people of the community helped one another? What role do the women of Kalikuda play during these days? Dear children, this question has two parts. So let us answer part 1 of the question. How have the people of the community helped one another? People of the community joined hand together in the time of distress. They helped in the proper distribution of government aid, means help of the government. They helped. Question part 2. What role do the women of Kalikuda play during these days? You can say women of Kalikuda looked after the orphan children. This was a big problem before them. So they looked after the children. They started working in the Food for Work program, which was started by Prashant or under the leadership of Prashant. Question number 4. Why do Prashant and other volunteers resist the plan to set up institutions for orphans and widows? What alternatives do they consider? Yes. Prashant and other volunteers resisted government's plan to establish institutions for orphans and widows, because in these institutions children would grow up without love and widows would suffer from stigma and loneliness. This was the problem. That is why he and other volunteers opposed the government's plan. Prashant and his group thought that orphans should be resettled in their own community. New families should be formed of childless widows, means the ladies or women who had lost their husbands and children. They were requested to form a family, new family. They should adopt orphans. Prashant suggested them that they should, or the women should, adopt orphans. Now, question number 5. Do you think Prashant is a good leader? Yes. From very beginning, I had told you Prashant is a good leader. All the qualities of good leader are there in Prashant. Do you think young people can get together to help people during natural calamities or natural disasters? He organized people at the time of distress. Though he himself was in distress, he helped others. I think, or you can say, you can think young people can help better in the time of natural disaster. They should form volunteer groups to help people. It becomes their duty to do so. Dear children, can you tell me where were Prashant and his friends during the 2 days of the super cyclones? What did they live on? Where did they get their food from? You can see the rainwater was entering the house during the super cyclone. Prashant and his friends' family remained on the roof of the house for 2 days. 2 coconut trees had fallen on the roof of the house. Prashant and his friends' family lived on them. They got the food from the tender coconuts. Can you tell me what was it difficult for Prashant to travel back to his village? Yes, it was difficult. There was water everywhere. He had to locate the road by a stick. At some place it was waist deep and the progress was slow. Sometimes he lost the road and had to swim. After some distance, he found 2 friends of his uncle. They decided to move ahead together. They had to push many human bodies floating on the water. This was the problem. Can you tell me? His heart went cold when he reached his village. Why? At last Prashant, you can say, at last Prashant reached his village. His heart sank. His house was gone. His family was nowhere. In order to look for his family, Prashant went to the Red Cross shelter. Fortunately, his family was alive. What were the 2 important tasks Prashant did after deciding to be the leader of the village? You should remember this. He organized a group of youth and elders to make the merchant give them rice. Next, he made a team of youth volunteers to clean the dirt, urine, vomit, and dead bodies. Can you tell me how did the villages make the helicopters drop regular quantities of food? Yes. The youth of the village asked the children to lie in the sand with empty utensils on their stomachs. They were successful in telling the helicopters that they were hungry. So the helicopter dropped regular food to them. Can you tell me how did Prasant help the women and children to get over their grief? Prasant made a shelter for orphan children. He found that women and children were in their grief. Prasant persuaded them to join the Food for Work program. In this way, he brought a ray of hope in their lives. Can you tell me a very personal question? Suppose you are a victim of a natural calamity. How will Prasant's example inspire you in rescuing and helping others? You can tell that Prasant's example will inspire you. In the time of distress, one should take courage like Prasant. He did a lot for the suffering people, though he himself was a sufferer. He did not lose hope. We all should do like him. Dear children, now I hope take your textbook or this book, and I hope you will answer all these questions. If you have any difficulty to write the answer, you should listen this video again and again so that you may answer the questions in your notebooks. I think you will do better. Thank you, children.